5.5. They're trying to mint 5.555 and waited till the last minute, and transactions are stuck. OKX is all messed up.
That's why I like to do mine on the first day. Whenever it's available, whenever they open up, I just get it done so I don't forget.
Yeah, especially if you see the gas price dip for a second and you can do batches for like $3.
Absolutely. I just streamed this to my audience too.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So you actually were one of the people that explained to me. Let me try this right here. This one's a little bit better. You were one of the people that explained to me the basic math where you said, look, to me, it's a simple idea of delayed gratification. If I mint one dark into a fuel cell NFT, and in 4 years I get 1.5 back, then I got a 50% APY, and even if the price doesn't go up, that's a great deal.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if you've caught any of our streams with this spreadsheet, but it is way crazier than what we predicted as far as the beginning. Oh yeah, you might. I'm glad you're sitting down for this. Because I'm gonna share my little screen here, and let's see here. Yeah, there we go. I'll drop us down here in the bottom, but this is the spreadsheet right here that calculates. This is what happens if only the evil address mints and nobody mints one more token ever. Right here, and you can see the J5s. This runs through Journey 33. So this includes your payout through Journey 33, or about 4 years. The J1s right now are set to receive 5.59.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I know you went heavy in the first 3, which we were telling people to do, and people just kept being like, no, I got to hang on to my dark. I got to stay liquid. And I'm like, yeah, maybe, but I mean, this 5.5x, and even J2s are getting 5x. And the ones that just barely minted, the J4s you just barely minted, looks like they're going to be about a 4x.
That's just in the dark token itself. That's not in the value of the USD value or the Pulse value or whatever other thing you want to price it in.
Yeah, this is insane. You even minting into J12 with no one else minting besides the evil address, you're getting 13% back.
Oh, let's be straight here too, though. The thing that really sets it apart is these first, say, if we start to go a little bit, we get a little bit of virality here with anti-gravity, and it starts to more and more people come in. The thing that people don't realize is these first 10, say 10, and then it starts to pick up virality. The first 10, those dark are going to be in the hands of the original people, the people that really cared about the project. And they're not just going to go dump hundreds at a time or thousands at a time. Yeah, you've seen me sell 5, 6, 7, 10 a day when I want to do something else with it. But there's people that are selling in some of these projects that we see these Jeets come in, and they're in there in the first day, and they sell their whole bag within 5 days once it's up 2x. You know?
Yeah.
You're not going to see that here.
Well, I mean, to be fair, a lot of people in crypto have been traded to degen on the short term. They've been being like, you got to be the first one in, you got to be the first one out, 10x, pull, repeat, rinse, repeat. Just like this game of, it's almost like musical chairs, but with cannibals, because they eat their young. You know what I'm saying? All these meme coins, all these groups that people are into and jumping on the next hot thing. It is like once someone runs out of money, they leave. They don't come back. So
that is true.
It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, like the snake eating its tail.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was the old way. I could tell B Roots comes from my generation of crypto because he preaches the same thing where you take out your investment bag as soon as you can, and then the rest you just let it go and let it grow to astronomical numbers. And that's when you start taking, after that, you know, you could take out a little bit, or you do the other way that I learned later in crypto was to do, you know, take out a little bit on every double. And that works too. That way you never run out of tokens. But these new generation of crypto users, I don't know where they're learning from, but they just take it all out and they do miss the rug pull if there is one. There tends to be a lot, but they also miss the big upside.
Yeah, well, and we haven't seen magic carpet rides in a while.
Oh,
It's been a rough 3 years. So the fact that people are like preparing themselves for rug pull on every project, you're going to be right 98% of the time.
yeah, yeah.
98% of the time, it is a rug pull.
The only magic carpet ride that I remember in this cycle would be Solid X. That absolutely went crazy. Well, I could say UFO was it was a decent ride. PTGC was a decent ride once it hit the top, especially if you're in early. I thought I was in early, but I wasn't in early enough. So, but I did get in early enough here, and I paid attention to what you were doing. Hey guys, Corey's here, Ted Nelson, Moonmutt, what's up, buddy? You guys are all saying hi. So what does this graph show?
This graph shows the expected payout from the Treasury into the fuel cells. And it was only supposed to start off real down here, but it's pumped so high. And I'll show you why. Let me scoot over to this one first. So let's start with this set of charts. This is the the minting schedule of the yield address right here, this nice, beautiful slope, because it follows the yield pattern, right? It basically drops 10% with every yield because the yield drops. So every journey, this is what the evil address was supposed to mint. And to be honest, we knew that obviously the mystery box is going to participate in this game because it's part of the team's, ecosystem. But we had no idea how many whales would join. We had no idea how many of the day ones would mint. And
the pink mist whale was a total surprise.
Yeah. And if you look at this, we came so close to beating the all-time high. So this is where the mint was supposed to be, the top of the blue. This is where it actually was, up here in this top screen, top bar. So this is how much was minted. This is how much was supposed to be minted. This. So you see, here's our 4 mints. 1, 2, 3, 4 mints. And had that whale gotten his 5555 in, we would have actually had an all-time high record of minting J4, not J1 when you got 1.5 more X, J4, because people are starting to understand the game. And they're starting to see the dark accumulate inside their fuel cell slowly at first. And then boom, I mean, we're going to get some big payouts. So just go into this little corner right here. This is what the mint window that just closed right there. So who knows what J5 is going to be, but it could be like I only expected 80, 90,000 to mint like down here. And then people just started going crazy. And of course, Firewell completely tipped the whole scale by minting.
Yeah, he did 10,000, right?
He's in third place, Randy.
right off the bat, right? Just like that.
Literally, yeah. And J4, he just came in with 10,000 J4s and got third place. The only one that comes close to touching the Pink Miss Well is you, of course. So yeah, Pink Miss Well. The Pink Miss Well minted 18,000.
I did 1,500 and I thought I was balling.
No, the Pink Miss Well has woken up and he really, really likes what's going on with the game. He really likes what's going on with the fact that I'm still streaming. I'm still growing the community and the fight club, so to speak. So yeah, he did 18.
And I don't think either of these guys do not care about the lottery that much. They care about the long-term growing of their fuel cells with the dark inside of them.
Well, and this is the part of the game that is going to be, I think, the turning point of whether or not we really get to the heights that I think we can price-wise. And as I said, here's the payout peaks in Journey 8 right now, but the more this goes up, the further this would be.
When you say the payout peaks, that's the amount of dark that we're going to receive in our fuel cells?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you go up here, I know it's kind of hard to read, but this one goes and shows how much total payout's going to be. So around 8 right here, if you go down 8s, 47,340 dark are going to get paid out to the fuel cells.
Wow. Well, I think
And
in total, it's funny you said the peak of Miss Will just came in with all that. Am I no longer the top guy on the collective?
you're number 2 right now, outside of, I mean, we
Sake.
don't count, obviously, we don't count the mystery box and the evil address, but he's above you. Let me see here real quick. Let me pull that one out. That one's right here. So here's the fuel cells. And again, I don't know how accurate this is because these blockchain explorers tend to run a little behind. But so here's the evil address with 230,000. Here's the mystery box with 53,000. Here's Pink Miss Well with 35,000. And then there's a daughter address. 33,000 was minted from the mystery box this Journey 4. Okay. And then this is also a mystery daughter address for Journey 3. And then here's Randy, 18,056.
Okay. All right.
And then right below you is Firewell. Tiago's got 10.5. And I think that this was one of the other wells, BOA6.
And that's the one we never identified, right? We never figured out what whale that was.
No, we're trying to figure it out. Like I said, some of these wells are starting to send messages like with 5555 or 369. You know, they'll do little winks to the community. But yeah, this well right here, if we go to the dark supply, right here, these clean addresses, 10, 10, 5, 17. This is one of the whales that could not get their 5555 in on time. So this one of these would be down by 5K, and we would have 5K more in the Treasury and lottery.
This is nuts. I don't think people understand. There's only 999,999,999. Wait, yeah, 999,999.858 dark.
Well, 500 of those were burnt.
Ah, okay, that's right.
So 999,499.
All right. That's not a lot of tokens, guys. and we just went and put how many into this cycle?
121,000. So 12%.
12% of the supply just went bye-bye.
Yeah.
And you won't see them again probably minimum 2 years. Some might sell early.
Some never. And here's it, like the holders, it says 1633. There's basically 1,000 airdrop recipients in here that have not moved or touched anything. And
they each got 2.
They got 2 of each. Yeah.
And they got 2 fuel cells.
Yeah, 2 fuel cells, which are all going to have 5.5 dark, and they are all sitting on 2 dark matter tokens.
That's another 4,000 burned, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of them, I don't think will ever see the light of day. I think people have forgotten these wallets.
I found a couple wallets. I had I have multiple wallets, and I had 3 wallets that had the 2 in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be insane if people start going through landfills to find their old laptop. If dark hits $100,000 or something crazy, and they're like, where's my old phone? Where's my burner phone?
Oh man, I'll tell you, there's some interesting things that are going on. I have been increasing my liquidity with dark little by little, and as you know, that yesterday the DAT farm, the DAT/dark farm went live. So that one now, that's another place where we can put our dark matter tokens and provide some liquidity. I think you and I, we have differing opinions. I believe that, liquidity matters. We should have, maybe 100,000 liquidity or something like that.
Yeah.
That should be the ultimate goal for a project like this. I think 100,000 is more than enough liquidity. As you see, DAT token, already DAT is sitting at, I think, 90,000 or something like that for liquidity. And look how quietly we started DAT. So now we have that pool for dark and DAT right there. Yeah.
Just as soon as the DAT token paired with dark, I was compounding the DAT and Pulse farm, just rolling it, just buying as whatever I received in DAT, I would buy it in Pulse and I would just compound it. And then this dark one showed up, and for 27 minutes, I want to say this was like 7,000%. And then immediately it just got like now that 13K just showed up, which
that's
is
me and you. That's mostly me and you. So
yeah.
I'm not putting any more in. I'll let you. You're the founder of Dark. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, now I'm just taking my data and I'm compounding it here. You know, so that's great. But you got Hex, you got the the incentive tokens paying really good, and it's only got 8K in it. Right here, that one's 428, right?
That was actually at when I went to bed last night. That was still at 3,000 because nobody had taken advantage of it yet.
Oh, so someone woke up and dumped in 8K and took a good swipe of it.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't they? We've got I think about $40,000 of liquidity. What's that solid? Go back to that real quick.
Okay.
What's the DAT solid X looking like?
15,000 is 15,000 still paying 227.
And obviously I can go and do a lot more than that because we have about 40,000 liquidity between Dark and DAT.
Right.
I want to leave some meat on the bones for you guys. So that we put that one out there, and I think that Solid X is going to have a really fat run here in the next couple of weeks. So once we get this legal matter, the bureaucracy part completed, have our license, and that just Solid X. Let's be kind here and say Solid X does 3X. Let's be really conservative, and we go back up to $40 or $35. What's that going to do to the DAT token, to dark matter? All of our tiny tokens in this ecosystem, it's going to be bonkers.
Well, it's funny you mentioned it because we definitely pulled every liquidity dollar we could during the PDI bullshit, right? We're like even before then, if you look at our Nostradamus chart, which I've got to put the bulls and bears back on here. But yeah, we were like, this is insane how quickly this is falling to pieces. And the dark and Rat Pulse has the most history on it. So if we scroll back here, this was our first launch. This was the first mint. Here's the second mint. Here's the third mint. Right here was garbage, and here's the fourth mint. So we have a mini bull and bear market every journey, right? But every single one of our payouts lined up almost exactly with these black swan events. There's 11 black swan events that happened since the beginning of December in Pulse.
I think that's hopefully white swan events now.
Yeah, we're ready for the white swan, and this is the first bull market, our first mini bull that is bulling again. We missed one here. Journey 3 was a nightmare. And just going into darkness. But as we saw this happening, we just saw, and up here, the Pingmas well provided $500,000 of liquidity up here when we were around $50 or something like that.
That's a baller move, especially when things were looking so dire.
Yeah. So he was down $270,000 in permanent loss. Now, the Pingmas well likes dark and he likes Pulse, so he wasn't, bothered by it so much, but he was losing his dark position. And that's when I talked to Triplet Dad about Bistro, and I said, let's move all of our buy and sell orders to Bistro, and let the market, the traders, the bots, let everyone just fall on their own knives, basically. So we did that, but at the same time, we started doing. Let me add this to my watch list. We started doing Pingmas well, and we started experimenting with what happens when you send a token to someone who doesn't sell it.
Yeah, that's the same thing with Fire Whale. And when I send him tokens, he just on them like eggs. I'm like, bro, you're supposed to use these things. It took us 4 cycles to get him into turning his dark into fuel cells.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, let me tell people what happened. Okay. When I invested the money that I did to help you guys, in the first cycle, whatever it was called, the first raise, I sent you the money, and because there was Solid X in there, I felt obligated, to help out my co-founder of Solid X to make sure that he had a taste as well. So I sent him 6,000 dark on that the first day we launched, and he sat on them like freaking eggs, man. No matter what you or I said to him, he would always forget. So
Yeah.
we finally convinced him. Pink Mist Whale was the easier sell.
Yeah, Pink Miss Well was like, I'm done. So here's the Pink Miss Well took about $80,000, dumped them for dark and reminted during the last during the last mint right here. So people were picking up Pink Miss Well every time he dumped it for 5 zeros and a 7, and it would snap up the same day back to 4 zeros and a 2. So people were making crazy.
I was one of them. But I turned mine into dark. I did the free thing they did.
Free dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course we said, you know what, like we noticed that the bots were getting a huge chunk of energy when we were eating slippage on this chart. And we're like, well, let's keep that economic energy in the system. So then we just had the dark well, Pink Miss Well, hang on to them. And even stuff like this, if you put it against Pulse, nothing. Like, look at this. This is what it did against Pulse.
That's a 10x, bro.
That is a 10x.
A 10x from when I bought.
Yep. And so
that 20 million Pulse I used to buy Pink Mist Whale would have been now 200 million Pulse.
Yes.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Now here's the deal. We're going to continue giving people deals because basically we're like, hey, send the Pink Miss Well $1 million of his own token. And we've been hooking people up with J1s, J4s, lottery tickets. We even had a spot back here where we were sending people dark. But the problem was they were dumping the dark to buy more Pink Miss Well and repeat. You know what I mean? Like we have some smart degens in our community here. If there's a way to take advantage, they're going to take advantage.
Oh, I know, man. Look at that. Look at that token. People are killing it with that.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to jump into is the DAT token.
And we got the ladies are all here. Smo Spider, we got Elizabeth Machado, we got SJ.
Ooh. What's up, guys? Good to have you. Elizabeth.
Look at that chart. It looks terrible from the first view. You're like, holy shit.
Here, let me throw on log so it gives it a little fluff, right? I was with you in Vegas. I was sitting on $15,000 of DAT when it came out. I didn't know what to do, so I held on to it. The next morning, it was $1,000 of DAT, like overnight. But I still was like waiting for instruction from Randy, being like, okay, like how are we doing this? And as soon as I could, like I said, I just put them into the farms right here, and then I just like I said, I've just been compounding this. Once in a while, I'll throw 100 DAT tokens up on Bistro to gauge the buy and sell pressure, and they disappear within seconds.
Yeah.
So DAT token, we can't keep DAT token on here, and there was 50 dark that were put on here around midnight last night, and they disappeared as well.
When you put them on Bistro, what kind of discount do you give? 10%, 15%? What do you think?
$10-$20. I'm pretty lazy. And so if I'm listing like a lot of it that's worth $1,000 US, I'll throw them in for $950, $940.
Oh, okay.
They disappear instantly. Same with DAT token. Like let's say I've got $110 of DAT, I'll put it up there for 100.
Right.
And it just disappears. And what we don't see is we don't see people arbing and dumping. We see people arbing and collecting.
Yeah, putting them back into the farms. That's the way to go.
Or minting the fuel cells. So this little bump right here, this green candle, this was when 100,000 DAT tokens were burned, correct?
Yes, that was the day they were burned.
Yeah, so look at that pop. See, buy and burn, this is my opinion, buy and burn only works when you surprise people with it. It doesn't necessarily work as well when it's programmed in, because people tend to price in what they believe the scarcity and value and supply of a token is. Right?
Interesting. That makes sense.
So when you see buy and burn with Gelato, Alien, these kind of things, and especially things like Titan X, you're like, when is this buy and burn going to go up and down? That's when it really moves the chart, is when it's unexpected, when it's a surprise. And so that was pretty healthy there. And then you've been pulling back the emission rate as well.
Yeah, we did that. Actually, I did that first. So that would be
right here down the bottom.
The beginning of April. So it would have been the first week of April. We put the emission rate to 3 rather than 4.4. And that was a wonderful decision. It just worked out really well. And it was timed really well with the markets, what was going on with the markets. Because obviously that was a lot less tokens coming to market every day.
Beautiful. So I'm not here to speak out of turn or anything. I'm just throwing something out. If these emissions continue to decrease, like the actuator token, the actuator token's issuance only lasts for 3 years. And the bulk of it's during the first year, then it cuts down the second year, then it cuts down the third year, then it stops. So yeah, you'll see. I think people are sleeping. I think they see these death candles, right?
Yeah.
And in their minds, this is, the all-time high. This is break even. But it's really not break even when you consider the market.
No, because there was no emission. There was no farms live yet when the token launched.
This is the chart people need to look at. Yeah. With that.
That's where it starts. It started when right after those red candles, and right after we got back from Vegas. That's when the gains began, right? And for those of you guys who do not know, our team includes Fast Abdul, the Hocus Pocus team, hocuspocus.finance, and Mike Wills, the founder of Saturno Token. And he's a big Zen guy. You guys don't see him in Pulsechain that much because he's huge into Zen. But he's still around. He came to the conference. A lot of you guys got to meet him. It's one of my favorite people in the crypto space. I'll be seeing him in a couple weeks in Miami. He's coming down to Miami with his family. So that's our team. And obviously, I feel like Max is part of the DAT community, strong, and as well as me on the other side with anti-gravity. So
I would say I'm adopted. I'm adopted by you and Mike. You guys are my two dads. I did get to hang out with Mike both in Panama quite a bit, and then a little bit in Vegas. And he's a solid dude. I like Mike quite a bit.
Yes, great father too, man. His kids are his world.
Beautiful. Beautiful, but that's the way it should be, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you guys have
your world sucks, man.
Yeah, you guys at your miracle max, and we can see how much time and attention and energy you put into there. Don's trying to FaceTime me right now. I wonder if he needs to get on the stream. He's not in the green room. So here, let me answer this.
Well, I had to ask you for the link, remember?
Yeah. Hey, bud. Hey, I'm streaming with Randy right now. You want to jump on? Oh, hell yeah. Okay. I got the link on Twitter and on YouTube. But I can DM to you. Okay. It's on X? Yeah, it's on X and YouTube. I'll be right there. Okay. Yeah, he's jumping on now. He's been busy with all sorts of crazy stuff the last couple of days, and we've been busy trying to crank out our game, the Pink Miss Well game, which is a sniper game. Basically, it's like Russian roulette. I think I described it to you a little bit. But
you've got your million screen thing going on right now.
Yeah, the infinity.
Yeah, the infinity screen.
Should we let's go back to DAT? Because like I said, this is the chart I'm looking at, and this looks like it's about to break all-time highs from where it actually started.
Imagine Fire Whale's not even involved. He hasn't even come in yet. I think he'll get excited once he sees the rewards are pretty substantial. Maybe we'll make a pool just for him that he can come in and just get, he'll come in and gobble up all the rewards. Who knows? Some random pool. You could tell like Ink Solid X. I think that'd be a good one for him. And then he could just grab up a whole bunch of rewards. We got Ink Dat there, but
Ink Dat right here, he could just soak this entire supply up.
Yeah, he sure would. But the thing is right now that, someone like Fire Whale who's used to earning, 50, 60, 100K a day, and when PulseX was running hot, right? Then he comes over here and he's like, oh, I'm only making $30 a day. He's not too excited. But if the DAT token goes up 100x, then that money that you earned becomes a significant amount more.
Yeah. If even if the emission's not cut again, if people just compound this or sell OTC like on Bistro, you could, with this chart, could do some very interesting things.
Well, I thought about it, because the great thing about Hocus Pocus Finance and this farming is that we can decrease the rewards as the value of DAT goes up. Say that once we hit 50 cents, then we could decrease the rewards to 2 or 2.5 or something like that. And then if the price drops back down sub 10 cents, then we can put it back up to 3. So people then they're receiving more tokens to kind of make up for the devaluing. I know that sounds so terrible. In Roman times, they took the silver out of the coins to make them to devalue the tokens. But that's exactly what we're doing. It's Keynesian economics is what we're doing with that token. Tighten the supply when everything is good, loosen the supply when everything's bad, and it keeps people happy.
Yeah, good stuff. Like I said, if you don't have enough actuator, folks, and guys, you get actuator for free. Like,
are you talking about DAT or actuator?
DAT. You get DAT and actuator for free, and you don't have enough of either of them. Our actuator farm right here, it was paying 126% a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and now it's
83,
right around 70%. Yeah, 72% on the HTT 7s, 70% there, 83%. But I mean, on the homie and no permission farms, you're getting hundreds of percent APR.
Yeah, and we don't even talk about it. Last night was the first time I tweeted about DAT in a long time. I was doing the humble brag, saying how well we're doing, and I told you from the beginning that I didn't really want this to be too public for a while, and we did it. We're almost 2 months in, and now the public is figuring it out, and they're starting to come over. So welcome, folks. Anybody that's new to the homie farms. Sorry, man, my throat today. My son's real sick, so I think I've got it from him.
That's okay. Yeah. You can literally buy on liquid. This is liquidity provided. These aren't even like locked, right?
No
like
lock.
None of this is locked. I mean, like time locked.
None.
Nope. Right? No time lock.
And there's tons of farms. I can't remember how to look up all the farms for DAT, but most of the other farms are paired with Nope. The other ones. And most of the tokens that are paired with Nope would be tokens from our no permissions community. Tokens that a lot of you may never have heard of.
There's a little delay here. I'm trying to type in some of the Nopes. There we go. So here's a bunch of the Nope pairs right here. Nope and Dark, Nope and Solid X. All these was everything. What was it? Yep token. Where's the Yep token? Yep token's paying 101%. It was paying like 500%.
Oh, it still is with the Yep DAT pair.
Okay, yeah, the Yep DAT pair. I've seen people snatching Yep off of Bistro in big old chunks, and Queen and King 2 have both been snatched off there.
Yeah, it'll probably be guys like AJ Vets, Crypto Compassion, those guys coming in and getting a taste.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, Ty, the guy that created Bistro with Triplet Dad and Triplet Dad, people like myself. See, here's some King that's just barely out of the money. You can they added this color feature to see if it's at the money
and cool.
Or out of the money. And they also told you how much it is per token, so you're not trying to do math. So shout out to those guys for doing some cool stuff. Cool stuff.
Come on, people, use Bistro. I mean, if you got it's a great way of DCAing. We had a call. Yesterday was Monday, right? Yeah, yesterday we had a call, and we were talking about using it as a way to DCA in and DCA out. Bistro. It's just a great way of doing it.
Yeah, and you're, like I said, you're not eating any slippage going in or out, which was a huge deal with Dark when we had super thin liquidity. People were eating 6 to 12% on pretty small orders, but they could come here and actually get a discount and they could even come here and sell at full price without pushing the price against themselves or murdering the chart.
Well, so, there's ways that you can go in and out without hurting a chart a lot of times. So you find the thickest pair. If you're not using Bistro, if you're doing regular trading, you find the thickest pair you can with whatever token you want to trade with, and that's the one you trade. And then, especially if that other token, for example, Nope and Dark, a couple weeks ago, there was no liquidity, guys. There was Pink Mist Whale pulled all his liquidity. There was very little options to get out of Dark besides Bistro. But if you wanted to, you could have traded your Dark for Nope, because that was one of the few liquidity pairs left. But do a direct trade to Nope, so that would mitigate or make it the smallest amount of slippage as possible, and then take your Nope, and then you could sell that for PLS. That's not what anybody would want you to do, but that was an option for you, for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know if you play around with this, the block hive. I think I found one of the links in your group. But if you go here to the block hive, I'll copy this and put it in.
Don's asking for the link again.
Yeah, I just DM'd him directly because I was like, I'm going to have to write it down on a piece of paper, walk it over to his house. I'm going to hand it to him. But check this out. This one right here, Liquidity, Pools Versell. You can type in any address, including no permissions, solid X, and you can hit scan, and it'll break it down to V2, V3, and show you which pairs they are and where they are. Some of this stuff won't show up on Deck Screener or Gecko Terminal because either it's low volume or it doesn't meet one of their criteria. It doesn't show up on their radar. But if you throw it up here, like, so this is Dark Matter. Dark Matter's got 126,000, almost 127,000 combined. And if you go down here, no permissions is the number one V2 provider at 21K, almost 22K between Nope and Dark.
Yeah.
And then DAT is the second one with 8,000.
That didn't take long.
Nope. We got a little bit of Pink Most, a little bit of Pink Mist Well on V2. But if you scroll down here, you have $57,000 paired in a tight range in V3 with PMW. So Pink Mist Well and Solid X, here's an interesting pair, $20,000 of Solid X in V3. Now, V3 doesn't always mean single-sided. Sometimes it means concentrated bands. And what we've seen here are concentrated bands right around the token right there.
That's not me either. I don't use too much V3. I've had so much struggles with it. It doesn't ever seem to work for me properly. And you have to get your math right. You got to do, hey, Don, you got to do,
What's happening?
Things. So I've had trouble with using V3.
Yeah, we have Condor and Ekidensen. Enkitisen. That is a very difficult last name. But Condor's in the house. They're grateful to be watching live. Smo Spire is grateful. I hope I didn't miss any questions up here. Crypto Cash, shall we pray for them? Yeah, my sixth graders heard me discuss dark matter. They said it's a science term, not world history.
They will be world history.
He's teaching them. He's teaching them the good stuff. Wild ass
Yes,
Jay, so good to see you. Elizabeth, like I said, winner of the J4 art contest. Hope that scrape button is working this time. Been working, not been working for me lately.
Which scrape button? Scrape and roll?
I'm betting it's the evil they're talking about right here.
Yeah.
So this button was live and gave out insane payouts in Journey 2 and Journey 3. Absolutely insane.
I earned 1,450, and I rolled all of them into Journey 4.
Nice,
yes, sir.
Nice. The collective has told us they're not interested in turning this button on anytime soon. They said that they're
too much work, man. The evil address has a lot of security, dude. It takes a lot. It takes an army. It's expensive.
It is tough to hack him, but the collective told us they're more interested in how many fuel cells that he's accumulating, and that they're working on hacking the fuel cells.
That is interesting.
So that could make things very, very interesting.
What could that mean? Do we know, or is that just the only message they sent us?
Well, if they were to mess with the evil addresses fuel cells, then these payouts on the Excel spread. You guys know what I'm saying. Spreadsheet here.
Yeah.
These could go bananas because you see they taper off rather quickly after journey 12. 18. But this is only if the evil address mints nobody else. And this is all considering that the evil address keeps hold of all of its fuel cells. So
True. Very,
interesting,
very true.
Interesting to see how supply and demand is going to hit the market. I think Randy kind of understands what we're putting out there. He was talking about the emission rate of DAT, how it is dynamic, which is a good thing to be dynamic in these markets.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm just going to throw that out there. And of course, I was showing them all this right here, still peaking in Journey 8, the biggest payouts, Journey 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got some more cool graphs to show too, but we can show those. I want to reconcile a couple things that I'm seeing on this that are slightly off from some separate calculations I did just on the fuel cell payout through. But they're similar, very similar.
Yeah, we're still sitting at over 5.5 on J1 without anyone minting in J5 yet. 6,
Right.
7. I mean, shoot, we have 29 more mints to go.
Yeah, so I'm seeing 5.56. Yeah, for fuel cell number 1. Then number 2 is 4.98. So slightly different, but yeah, basically after 12 is where you don't see the full 100% after the 33 journeys.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's interesting visually because if you guys think about it, it's almost a reallocation of tokens. You know what I mean? It's like everyone that mints, like this is what everyone that minted a J1, if they hold through J3, J33, and I actually have a table that shows or an array, a data array that shows like if you wanted to see what a fuel cell 1 looked like at the end of journey 12, I could show you exactly what the balance would be of a journey 1 at the end of journey 12, right? And at what journey does it become fully paid off? Like I can tell you, for example, a J1, you will have 100% of your investment back after journey 7. It'll be 100.58% after journey 7. You will have after journey 7 just for a J1. So you'll have a full dark end after journey 7. It goes to after journey 12, it's 223%. So it'll be a 2.23 dark. Then it becomes 3 dark after journey 16. It basically it's interesting. It's some interesting graphs, but
it compounds. Then it's like seriously compounding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, to the power of 10%.
Yeah, because you have
it's being dropped by 10% every journey.
Correct, and you have the treasury increasing due to added mints, and it only pays out the yield that it has to pay out. It retains the rest, so that becomes part of the next payment, right? It becomes a percentage of the total treasury balance, what it remains at the end of that. And so it's crazy when you start looking at, like, let's just for fun, like say a J2. So a J2 becomes 100%. What do we say after journey? Yep, after journey 7. So after journey 8, the J2 is at 110% versus at the end of journey 7, it's only 88%, right? Even a J4. So since we're talking about J4, you become 100% after right around journey 9. You're at 97.96%. You're at 116% after journey 10. So it's like even a J4 you're getting, and your number, like after J4, I'm seeing it's about it's about 4. It's about 3.94. So like a 4x for minting in J4, and that's.
Do we know what the dates are approximately for journey 10?
You know what? I'm gonna start laying those in. That's actually a great thing. In fact, I've got it in a different table, projected dates, but I have to. It goes off assumptions of what the exact rollover period is. I need to get clarification on that, so it's not off by a day as it gets later on. But journey 10 would be essentially 450 days if we just think about it that right, Max? 450 days to keep it simple.
Yeah.
So, that's
we're at day 152 right now, I think. So in about 300 days would be journey 10.
Yep, journey 10. So that's where a J4, right? That's where J4, I think I said J4. Yep, J4 J4 is 116% after journey 10. It's 97.96 after journey 9.
Actually, February 27 then.
There you go.
No, like December 26, right?
Or let me try this. What date is 450 days after 11/22 of 2024?
Okay, so that would be like
March 26th.
Okay, all right.
No, that's not right. It said March 26, 2025. We've already been there. Let me ask.
Be 2026 then.
Yeah, it would have to be. So watch this. What is 450 days after November 22nd, 2024?
It's gonna. I think you're right. March 2026.
Okay, then it just was off by a year. It told me 2025.
Yeah.
Oh no, you were right, man. You were right. February 15th, 2026. So a day after Valentine's Day. I think that's what you said first, right? February 15th.
I said end of January, but we're good. So that's pretty close, guys. I mean, think about it. That's only one. It's less than a year from now
to get 100% yield.
What the hell? And that's for Journey 4.
Yeah, that's for Journey 4.
Then
your J1s. Sorry, Mass. What were you saying?
That doesn't include the minting the next.
Yes, keep in mind.
This is without anyone minting ever again.
Yeah, so I can project if, like in the user mint, you see that highlighted tab up there. If we wanted to project like something safe, it already factors in the evil mint. But if we wanted to just assume 50,000 fuel cells minted, right? Like we could see how it would. Everything's connected where it will automatically change the data and the table, so we'll see what it will. Because we'll be putting the actuals in there after it happens, but we can also put projecteds in there and see how it changes, because that makes it very interesting because the treasury grows a lot bigger.
And I just realized this. I just added the J4 user mints 72,144. So all mints not counting the evil address. So we actually did set a new record on user mints, but the reason we didn't beat the overall record is because the evil address minted 11,000 less than it did in Journey 2. So actually by user count, 4 was the highest minted user mint out of all 4.
Tell me that number real quick for J4. What was the total
J4, 72,144.
Okay.
This is really interesting, guys.
Because
this is one of those examples, like you have a plan and then you get punched in the face.
Right? We've all been punched in the face. Okay, now let me tell you what that does to the data. Okay, this is interesting.
See, does that put your J1s up to 559 now?
No, 5.79. And then 2 is 5.19, meaning at the end of the 3. Then a 4 is actually 4.107 now. So imagine that this is going to keep it the more. So even if we just added one fuel cell of user mint to every journey, it's going to increase the numbers that we're even seeing here. So
these are the low estimate.
See that again? Oh, of course. Yeah. My point is it just gets better from here. You know what I mean? Like the more user mints there are, then the more journeys you get to participate in as well. But what people don't realize is that golden here. Watch. Let me show you this real quick, Max. I'm gonna share this real quick.
And Don, we were talking about the virality starting to hit in the next coming mints,
right?
The journeys. So if virality starts to hit, these numbers just
change. Oh, they go crazy. Well, and the wildest thing too is like what I'm trying to run on some of this is some like maximum theoretical capacity, meaning like what could some maximums be? Because there's only 1 million tokens, and the amount that gets locked up in the treasury stays locked up in the treasury, right? And so it we start like what could the maximum even be? Because when you're talking about scarcity like this, things go bananas, Here, Max, tell me if you want me to, if you're good with me sharing this, just to share some, keeping in mind that we have to reconcile some of the data.
Want me to drop my screen and put yours up?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, let me try that.
Okay, first time I've ever tried to share screen on this computer, so we'll see if it works. Let's see. It has to be entire screen because it's not a Brave tab, it's Excel. Okay.
What are you doing now? I'm just gonna add up, speaking of scarcity, the dark token right now. The dark token that's held in the top several wallets, including the evil address. Remember, 3 of these are smart contracts. They're not people's wallets.
Right.
Right now, you're looking at about 42% in the evil address, 35.5 in the mystery box.
Right.
Or no, I'm sorry, 35.5 in the treasury.
Right.
And then only about 6% in the mystery box. And then you got the mystery. Oh no, then you got the jackpot. The jackpot has about 5%,
Mhm.
and the mystery well sitting on 4%. Plus, then you got Pink Miss Well, who's sitting on 1.5%. Okay, so then you got these the three mysteries that missed the mint this time, 10, 10, 5. So that's 2.5.
Dang.
So just there, not even getting down to like Randy's wallet, we're at 96.5% that's off the market.
That's nuts, dude. That's crazy. See, that's also something I want to model. Is that's the whole point of the theoretical is like what is like basically at the end of each journey, what is the guaranteed amount that is like literally locked off the market? Because that can be calculated. You know what I mean? So can you see the screen?
Yep.
Okay, so can you see this circle? So just imagine this is like a reallocation of tokens, right? Because so you see the journey ones, like this is kind of what the pie chart looks like of what everything is distributed basically after the 33 journeys. And you can see if the earlier you mint, you get like these fuel cells will be the ones that are holding, like this percentage of supply and yield alone, So 1 through 4, you get a lot. 1 through 5, I mean, is almost more than half. It is more than half. So right here, where you basically see like a summary of the dark at the end. Here is basically where you can see at the end of each journey, right? So here's the fuel cell series. And then here's like here you can see at journey 10, number 4, which I need to lock this so that you can always see the journey number, but you can just go by 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be at 122% after 10. Yeah, see, it was 97% after 9, and then now after 10, now it's 102%. Now that we entered just the actual user mint, so none of that is even theoretical. This is all like the guaranteed yield that we're going to see, and then we add stuff
time until next cycle, and then it changes again.
Right. Exactly. Then it goes up. And so what was the other one that I was wanting to show?
Did this change so much because of what we did with the tokens from the evil address? Is that what changed all this so significantly?
No, it's just
this is actually what it is.
The biggest change from what was projected from the evil address
lotteries
is the minting. We're minting twice as many as we expected. We're having twice as much participation.
Oh, you mean on user part? You mean?
I think that's what he meant. We just got rugged by Max.
Well, and so I'll let him say what he was saying. But this so the evil address like scrape and roll. I don't know if that's what you meant. The evil address scrape and roll.
Yeah.
That only affects the lottery. Like, well, it does affect like you can, but that doesn't change any of this. This is yield like based off actual input of the like actual user mint, user participation, but then evil mint, which is scheduled on a contract, forecasted the entire way out, right? And so like you can see right here, just this beautiful, like the way that it kind of cascades, like these are J1s all the way up to almost 6, right? And these will obviously change. Max, it cut out when you were saying
we're having twice as much user engagement than we planned on originally. So when we were running the first numbers and graphs for this project, we were assuming a 10% participation by the users and a 10% participation by the mystery box, right?
Right.
And so what we've seen is a 50% participation. So it's taking the tokens off the market a lot faster than we thought it would. And
right, but the mystery box hasn't changed, right? The mystery box, sorry, not mystery box. The evil address is minting the same regardless. Like that is the pre-programmed amount that the evil address is. Because I think Randy asked about evil, and the only thing that changed with the evil was it was hackable for the winnings to just pad everyone else's winnings even bigger. But that's separate. That's the separate spreadsheet I'm working on is actual lottery results and reconciling those with the percentage and seeing what seeing what standard deviations are, things like that based off of actuals. And that one's in the works, that data set. There was one thing I wanted to show you, which was wild. Okay, like this, you can see, this is like the
last little chart looked like shark teeth. That's the payout at the end of every journey in each fuel cell, right there, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So this one is forget this one because this is like the cumulative. I need to take this piece out right here. But that's the cumulative, and it's hard to see obviously. But yeah, this is basically. I'd have to see what the. Yeah, this starts at the top. Like J1's basically up here. So it basically showed, or no, that's not
if you
right.
zoom into J1, you can see the dust that we've been accumulating. When we go to the
actually, I think this is one because let's see what color is one. They say is green.
It's got to be the top one because the last one's only going to have one payment, which is 33 at this point.
Well, no, because it's going to last one's going to have 33 payments because it pays to all 33 fuel cells.
Oh, okay. So this is a payout. I thought this was
all 33. Yes, exactly. So this is like what journey. So actually, this is what the J1 payout looked like because it only paid to one thing. You know what I mean? And then
right.
And then
right.
But again, I got to fine tune this chart. This isn't the one I was necessarily like looking at. This is kind of like looking at it in a different way. Like J1, like this one. I've got to interpret it so that the labels make sense. But the let's see, you can see the remaining amount in Treasury. What was one of the things I was wanting to show? Okay, yeah, look at this. So basically with the total, this is the total of the total amount to yield payouts. So this is what I was talking about, the redistribution. So we're talking on a token with 1 million total, right? 710,000 of these are basically redistributed throughout the process with having zero user mint. You can see these have zero in them, right? These highlighted cells, we haven't put anything in those. These are just evil mint right here. And so it's a redistribution of over 71% of the supply to this set of series. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're a J1, you're going to be basically a part of that. You're going to be essentially relatively getting this much of the supply in your yield for each fuel cell based off that redistribution of 71% of the tokens. Does that make sense? Like that's pretty wild. You know, it's like a reallocation. And it's like, if you didn't participate, just like if you don't stake your hex, you get diluted, you know? And so, so anyway, lot more cool things to share. I want to interpret some of those. But like the data, like I want to be able to show that that when I showed you the percentage, like after each journey, what you can count on getting, like, you know what I mean? That's so wild that,
you know, what's really blows my mind is that you think 4 years is a long time. I know I thought 4 years was a long time. And then this little fucker here launched November 2019, and we're 6 years later.
Yeah,
right?
dude.
Yeah. We're going out
a year. 1.5 times that.
Yeah, so it's not going to take long for us to get to that last journey.
Really. Not at all. And one of the things we really like about this project is and what we can also project that we can push those payments out because they go in perpetuity until the treasury is depleted. And so that's one of the things that is part of that forecasting is at what point does the treasury reach zero and these payments reach zero, right? Because they're going to keep paying out. So we could actually see like, okay, what is it 45 days after, J33, they just keep basically getting paid out and every 45 days. What up, gentlemen? And so it's dude, it's really cool to forecast that. And then I want to see
what happens. Okay, so we get to the 4-year mark. What are we gonna? You guys got plans after the lottery ends? Where we gonna have things that are gonna make
well, as we said before, and this we want to make sure we don't not say this enough. The rapture is coded in. So remember, there will be a day after the 33 journeys where every liquid token, it's already programmed to self-destruct, but it's also programmed so they'll all disappear. They're liquid, but if you put it in liquidity, or if you keep it attached to your fuel cell, or however you want to do it, just get it in a smart contract of sorts. You can even write your own smart contract of kinds. If it's in a smart contract, it's like the kryptonite shield. Like it makes it so it unwires their self-destruct and it will never self-destruct again. So basically anyone like things that are just not participating or dust that's just somewhere, it'll kind of refocus those that are focused on the project. And it's not intended to penalize. It's a game mechanic, right? And so it's so you'll want to make, and we will have probably a tool created ahead of that time where I can't promise anything, but where, if like maybe it would automatically enter your liquid tokens into, you'd have to obviously grant permissions, but it would automatically enter whatever you had into a smart contract at that time. We'd have to decide what that would look like. But as far as what happens after those 45 or after the 33 journeys, thank you, love. We get to see what that would, we still have ideas.
I wonder how many are going to disappear. I'm guessing it's going to be 50,000 or so. They're just going to be poof, gone.
That's the exciting part, right? Is how many disappear.
That works. I like that.
Sorry, the wife and the little one came in the office for a sec.
I'm used to it, man.
CryptoCat says Axios is alive. Good to
I'm
see
alive,
you.
dude.
So Inky Tenzen, got it. There was Inky Tenzen is where the name comes from. Was supposed to be here. What was that question? Halarski, big hugs from G2 Dynamics.
Air Force buddies.
Yeah, X Game will moon when launched. It's interesting what happens when you take something that's already a scarce token like SolidX, right? And then you build a game on top of it that makes that token even more scarce.
And one wallet controls 96% of all the tokens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we've shown you guys the Ping Miss Well chart. That one only has like 70-80%.
Exactly. I mean, these are the things that people. I saw a tweet. Oh my God, it was such a disappointment seeing this tweet. It shows you, one, they're not part of no permissions. Two, they don't listen or follow the fire whale. And the guy put on a chart. He goes, "Oh, SolidX will never see above $30 again." I'm like, the last time we pumped, it took like 3 days to go from, I think, $12 to 45. It took 3 days. Boom, boom, boom. And people who haven't been around myself and the fire whale for a while don't realize how quickly these things happen. Look at DAT token. DAT token went from 1.7 cents at the bottom. Now we're back up to 4.8. And that wasn't even because I was pumping the token too much. I was only putting like $100 to $200 a day into it. That was because the liquidity that it's bound to has been going up.
Yeah.
Primarily. So if we have a bull market, if we have a bull market, we'll get everything will just really start running.
Yeah. And like I said, what happens if there's a game built on top of dark matter? So there's a game playing on dark matter that is adding buy pressure and taking dark off the market. There's a game on top of SolidX, and it's taking SolidX off the market.
And there's buy and burn tokens that are buying and burning SolidX that are coming.
Okay, so you get those things all cooking on two tokens that are connected to each other, and then you connect it. You bring in DAT, and you bring in Pink Mist Well, and you have these super concentrated people that are getting paid to hold. Yeah. Everyone's getting paid to hold all four of these tokens, basically.
And that was my whole idea behind Nope when I launched it. I don't remember if you know the history of Nope, but when I launched it, people were like, "Oh, Randy, what is the utility of Nope?" The utility of Nope was I'm going to teach people how to use liquidity and farm. And that's what I did. I had Nope on every single thing except for Pulsex, because Pulsex didn't have farms for any token except for the RH cores. But we had 9-inch, we had was it Simple Swap? Not Simple Swap.
Spark Swap.
Spark Swap. Now we have the DAT farms, and so every place there was to earn, we had Nope pairs, and because we did that, everybody in my no permissions community now knows how to farm, and it's so funny watching it, the education process and the people learning, and now people message, "Hey, Randy, this is great. I'm making like $30 a day." Freaking awesome! That's what we want, right? That residual income. Until you've made money when you're sleeping, you haven't made it. That's my opinion.
Well, and everyone has been trying to turn crypto into a residual income, to cash flow. We've had this feast or famine. The 1 year of great gains, and you better stuff your pockets full of gold because there are 3, maybe 4 lean like bear years coming up, right? So we've been trying to find a way to balance that out and get some stability to where this could be an actual, like you said, cash flow, residual income.
Absolutely. And Don, we were just talking about earning money while you sleep. It's the best feeling. And I'm going to say it over and over again. I was shouted from the rafters. You ain't made it until you're making money while you're sleeping.
Oh, 100%. I mean, because you're spending it while you're awake, So you gotta be able to make it while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Mailbox money.
Thank you, CryptoCat. Appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, no permissions is great. That CBD tincture has been helping my brain work again. Yeah, CBD is pretty good for the brain. Pretty good for a lot of things, actually.
I can't get it here, sadly. Panama still has marijuana and CBD on the class 1. I can't get it.
CBD too?
Yeah, they're trying to make it. They're trying to get it passed where it's legal, but I think we have to wait a couple more years.
That's wild. I thought where we live is like the most strict in terms of CBD, like something like that.
No, Panama's bad. Yeah. I remember. I'm not going to say the name of who did it because it wasn't one of you guys. It wasn't you guys, but one of our No Permissions members came to the conference, and the wife had THC electronic cigarette.
Ooh, a vape pen.
Oh, she had her vape pen. I guess is what they call it. I'd never seen one before. I just heard about it, right? And she's walking around Panama City with this thing. And I said to her, I said, wait a second. You came through the airport with that? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, do you know that's prison time in Panama? You're not supposed to be bringing those things in.
We came in with gummies and e-cigarettes. Like we didn't walk around smoking them or using them. But that was, I figured that Panama was legal.
No.
I mean, they look like, not like this one, but they look similar to, they look like most other vapes. Like vapes back in the day look like what vape cartridges now, like regular nicotine vapes looked the way those do now, like same technology. Smells different, of course. But so, if they're used to vapes coming in, they don't care about that, then they probably skip by it. But dude,
they can't sell. Vapes aren't allowed to be sold here. They're not allowed to sell them. But when people bring them in, they don't care.
See, Mexico's the same way. And they're trying to even limit even being able to vape in Mexico, like even being able to take them in. But yeah, how would a Panamanian prison be? I don't know about that.
Boy, you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
No human rights, guys.
Exactly.
It's worse than El Salvador. El Salvador, at least you have your concrete slab.
Mm-hmm.
So I just picked up one of those adjustable ice and Nick disposables on the res yesterday.
I love those, dude. I've been using those.
That's one of the nice things about the U.S. is, it's not great what we did to the Native Americans, but there's a lot of things you can get on reservations around here that you couldn't get legally while the states were passing laws.
Right. And I mean, gambling too, a lot of things that, dude, what's interesting? I wonder if anyone, I guess since it's still federal law, but if someone launched a crypto project from a reservation, if that's like the same as launching outside of the country, probably not because same federal laws.
I would think so.
But I would think, right? I mean, I would think it would be worth looking into. I don't know if anyone's.
Isn't it weird that they haven't done it yet? You would think they'd be like tip of the spear, but maybe they're just so comfortable with the money they made from casinos and selling cigarettes and stuff that they haven't had to.
Right. There's also a big learning curve too. You know what I mean? Like in terms of, I mean, I'm sure there's participation, but
they got the money to hire the devs. They don't have to do shit.
Oh, for sure.
They're so wealthy, these tribes that have the casinos.
Yeah.
I'm from Western New York, and there's Res nearby, down just south of Buffalo, that everyone goes to buy stuff, tobacco.
Oh yeah. Well, you hit it on the head, dude. They're loaded. So I've done a number of contracts with like some of the local, like Arapaho, like some of the other tribes, basically for recovery things. And it's not any specific tribe. It's just like any group in the country. We all drink, we all do things that need help. But they, in terms of like, it's cool to see a lot of them basically be like, no matter the cost, like we'll cover them to help people get sober. And the money is crazy that they have. So I would think that they certainly could hire the devs.
Yeah, I know. And for people who are watching, what we're talking about is we call them in the United States, we call them the Indian reservations. That's where they live. Up in Canada, they call them the First Nations. I think that's what they call them in like New Zealand as well as the First Nations. These people, they were poor for so long, but they were allowed to open up casinos and stuff, and they got huge by making money by doing that. So congratulations to them. I'm glad they were able to do that. I did want to say one thing about the X game. There was a rumor going around that we're going to require KYC to play the app, the games, but no, there is no KYC. That was a rumor that should not have been said, but some people say things that talking out their asses. So
that didn't come from any of you guys even remotely. It just the telephone game. It just was created.
Yeah, I don't know. I just went around and people were saying it in the chat, and I was getting messages. I'm like, God, man, you guys are going to require KYC. I'm like, what are you talking about? No. This you're talking about random
permissions.
Yeah,
exactly.
If we get big enough, who knows? We might have a full KYC casino, kind of like a full KYC exchange. Wouldn't that be freaking cool? But in the beginning, this is decentralized.
No permissions. Thankful for how much I learned at No Permissions. Yeah, I just renewed my whole year subscription to No Permissions, and I think I'm pretty much close to break even on my DAT yield.
The early folks they broke even because of their Nope airdrop.
Mm-hmm.
And then the medium term ones that came in at about 2 months, they made their money all back from the Solid X airdrop. Yeah. Now this next group that came in over the last year made their money back with DAT if they were performing in the for being part of the farms. There was no airdrop with DAT. You were just forewarned. You had 2 months notice that it was coming.
Yeah.
Well, and you got a lot of other airdrops. I mean, Dark was airdropped to holders too, and it's at one point the price was crazy. Granted, during early price discovery, first few days, but 100 and something bucks a token. Everyone got 2 plus 2 fuel cells. So I mean, that adds up too in terms of.
Listen, Gelato, Yep, Saturno. I mean, there's been like 6 coins airdropped, SoundX, all sent to our wallets, and you could have made some money. There was one airdrop. It was a bunch of different tokens of smaller values, and that one I think if you would have sold right away, you could have gotten 120 bucks or something like that. But the other ones were much bigger. That Nope airdrop, man, that first one, it was bonkers. There was some guys that I think the biggest one was like they got 13 million Nope because they were 250 a month subscriber they get private meetings with me. They were the day oneer, and they loaded up, and I'm like, my God! At one point, it went to 5 cents, right? Or I mean, half a penny. Sorry, half a penny. And so that 50 grand worth.
I was going to say, 50K, easy.
He was quite happy. Yeah. Someone was saying, are we doing any free giveaways? Hold on, Don. Someone said that. Are we doing a free giveaway today? No giveaway. This is actually a dark matter stream. So when I do giveaways, I just do those on my own stream.
We can play the Russian roulette game.
Sure.
In chat. That one that's a big crowd pleaser. I just want to say here, CryptoCat, I paid for my membership with that, and knowledge learned is priceless.
There you go.
If we did KYC, then we got to do our own collective validations like they do on Pi. I KYC validations for Pi to earn.
Yep.
That reminds me, I gotta turn my 6-year-old phone on to.
Likewise, dude. Or not even that one.
Yeah. CryptoCat says we need a crypto for kids manual. That one's funny. Here, let me.
Bitcoin wrote a book.
Those kids don't need a manual. They just figure it out, man.
Dude, sticky iPad is a real thing, man. All right, so check this out. We're gonna go here. This is the latest iteration. Here's an interesting part of the game right here that is not out yet. It's a globe, and basically you got 369 people that can all join, and you can actually spin it right here. So instead of spinning a roulette wheel, we're spinning basically a disco ball right here, and then one number is going to be eliminated. Yeah, one number is going to be eliminated every time that the snipe button gets hit. So let me jump here into I'll have to go into my V4 PulseNet right here to run this. We should have mainnet out very, very soon for you guys to play with. When we launch on mainnet, it will be no money. So basically, you'll play for fees in Pulse, and then we'll probably have some rewards for you guys. But the first 10 people in chat to write down to choose numbers 1 through 10 are going to get a spot on this. This is the testnet only has 10 available, so we're going to confirm that. OKX is making me madder and madder by the day. It has caused a lot of problems for us. And as far as I understand, it is basically just built on top of MetaMask. So, but I digress. We're using it right now. We will confirm the TDAI, the test DAI tokens, and we're going to get 10 tickets here. So, like I said, put your number in the chat. We got CryptoCats 4, Believe in Yourselves 5, Elizabeth's got 2, Randy grabbed 3, Wild SJ won already once. She's got 8, Hex T's got 1, Bright Light wants 369. Smo's got 6. So let's see here. We have 7. Casey in the house with 9. Dude,
yes,
hey, Casey, how you doing? And no one ever picks 10. 10 is like the most unlucky number, but I think it's the only one available right now. So let me confirm this right here on testnet. And then, yep, Steve Stash grabbed number 10. Good to see you, Steve Stash. So that's cool, right? 1, 2, 3. What's that?
No, I said there we go, Steve.
Yeah, Michael Burchard. If I'll tell you what, if Steve wins, then I'll give you guys both the prize. How's that sound? So if you have not grabbed one of these numbers, you can grab another one and pair up, because we do have quite a few people watching thanks to Randy restreaming, and there's people here that have never seen or heard of this before. So welcome, guys, and we're gonna start misting them right here. So we hit mist them. We got 10 tickets right here. And I believe the last 2 are going to win, because this may or may not show up on the... Ooh. Notice something different about that? We used to have a hissing, like an air hissing sound for misting them, for like mist. Shh, it sounded like a tire store. But now we got the sniper, the pink mist well, coming in with a bolt action. So I don't know. I figured you guys would like that. We'll confirm. We'll do another one. Boom.
7.
7
Sorry.
out.
7.
Yep. 7's gone. Nice little skull emoji. Here we go. Let's shoot another one. And this was actually sped up quite a bit from what we were waiting before on testnet, but it'll be even faster on mainnet. Oh, number
Boom,
1. 1 is out. So we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. I believe, Randy, you got 3?
That was 3.
Oh, sorry, man.
Right. And 7's gone too.
7's out. All right, let's see here. 10's hanging on with the 2 people.
I was gonna say, Steve, you might be, and who else was it? 10. I have to go back.
Michael Becker.
Okay, that's right. He's got 10 also.
Yeah. Brace yourselves. I gotta turn down my microphone. My speaker is just a little loud.
It sounds good on here.
Yeah. It's pretty loud. Here we go. You can kind of see the pink Mistwell background in Grayskull. We've kind of gone with a Nintendo's theme back from the 90s. Let's see here. Confirm. All right. We are going to be down to 4 now. And it may or may not give us a winner, depending on what version this is. But the main one will show the winner of each round.
Oh, Steve and Michael. I'm sorry, guys.
2-1, dude. That's how good the pink Mistwell is at sniping. He can take out 2 dudes with 1 shot.
Yeah, exactly, dude. He can. He's no joke.
So now we get down to the final 3, where we could have 2 or 1 winners, depending on if this shows. But we're on round 23, so we should actually
between 2, 5, and 6. See, my lucky number 6. So now I'm rooting for 6. I don't know who 6 is. Or no, was that 8?
8. 2, 5, and 8.
6 is gone.
Who we got here on 2, 5, and 8? We have Casey was taken out with 9. Oh man, I'm sorry to see you go.
SJ's alive. She's 8.
Yep, Elizabeth, believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself. And yep. Ooh, dude.
So let me.
People.
One of you guys, like I said, hold hands like they do on Miss America, in the middle of the stage because one of you guys is about to go home. Not a winner.
I love. We should do the
And-
videos after. When everyone says how happy they are for the people that still made it. It's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm so glad they won, and I'm going home. No, you're not. But that's sweet to say.
I still owe Hexy Armstrong and Believe in Yourself a J1 from yesterday's game.
Man, that's a sexy. Now that we're seeing all the, what it turns into, and that's without the user mint. That's 5 dark right there, boys. A J1. It's 5 dark at the end.
It's over $100 right now.
Yep. And those should have a value.
Oh. Looks like 5 is taken out.
Machado.
So
Now it's between Machado and
who's 2 and 8.
SJ and Elizabeth.
Oh my gosh, girl power. The last time these guys played, they both won.
Oh, you definitely have to miss one then. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm gonna send a dart to each of them for being the last.
We still have to see who wins, or will it not do the final?
On this version, I think that the table's missing. So there will be a table that shows all the previous winners, kind of like when you walk up to a roulette table in Vegas and it's got all the previous numbers. So you'll see the lucky numbers on the board, and you'll see the previous winners as well and what they won. Oh, no, it did work. Check this out.
So 2-1.
So on round 23, 2-1.
Elizabeth.
So I'm still gonna give 1 dark to SJ. Yep. And then I feel like because Elizabeth is the last one standing, I'm gonna give her 2 dark. So 2 dark to Elizabeth, 1 dark to SJ. Thank you for playing, folks. This is a taste of what it'll be like. We've got a lot more UI stuff being built today on this, and they're also going to be incorporating this to the gunshots and to the randomizer right here.
Dude, did you see that 7 was 40% of the winners in the last 10?
Yeah, look at this. Lucky number 7.
It's 40% of
them.
Boom.
Bunch of 7s in there.
2
couple of 6s.
1 10, 1 2, 1 5, and 1 3.
I can't wait for people to degen on this. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
And this is just first iteration. Like, obviously not meaning there's been many, but once it's launched, first iteration, and there's many other ideas of ways to build on and improve, and it's gonna be fun.
And on the $1 game, there will be close to $140 of buy pressure. Market bot will market buy dark off the market and add it to the jackpot.
Yep.
So every time this game gets played, $140 buy pressure is going on to dark and putting it in the jackpot.
Is there a way for us to I could play that in my live stream, but use the same system?
Yeah, you would just have to have a Vercel login and use this this link right here. I'll put this in the chat in case any of you nerds are on Vercel. And then I'm also going to send this to you.
I think it'd be really cool because it could be we'll say when I'm live streaming, I'm doing my giveaways and stuff. I can do that as well.
Absolutely.
The last man standing. So I sent that in private chat and I put that in the comments as well. So but you do need to have a Vercel account to get in there.
Yeah, and Randy, you could slow cook it throughout the stream. You know what I mean? You could be like, all right, it's been 10 minutes. Let's miss someone else. You know what I mean? You could, so it's not just the whole time. Just kind of slow cook it.
I like that. Slow cook it.
Ted Nelson says howdy. Well done. Congratulations. Eric Peacock says he wants number 10.
Ooh, they got murdered.
I'm on Vercel trying this thing out. So Bright Light's already degenning on it and playing on the test net. But like I said, the smart contract is already deployed on mainnet.
Okay.
So the smart contract is finished and out on mainnet. They're just wrapping up the front end and back end code right now to get the UI to work the way we want it to. And then, like I said, we're gonna start playing it with 0 money, just fees. You're just gonna be paying the network fees. And then once we get all the bugs and errors worked out, we're going to throw it into a dollar game. So you can join this game for $1 per ticket, so to speak. So there'll be $369 that go into the pool. The team gets a 20% rake, so about $70 off the top. That $70 may or may not go to buying dark and pink Mistwell, just saying. And then 40% of that goes to buy dark and throw it in the jackpot. So the winners might dump their dark, but remember that dark was already bought off the market.
That's
At
cool.
market price. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of fun. And then depending on how many of these games take place during, say, a 24-hour period, we may open up higher limit tables. So we might have like a $1 table, a $5 table, and so on.
Cool.
And the higher tables may have clues and Easter eggs and bonuses that have to do with dark matter and fuel cells. So, dude, Brandy, I know that you don't have a lot of time to sit around watching Netflix. Have you seen Greed and Gold?
No. What is
Netflix? It's this documentary. Let me bring us back. Our faces back up on there. Yeah, it's a documentary about this guy that he got cancer late in his life, and he took like $1 million, $1 to $5 million of gold, and he went out and he hid it. And then he wrote a book. He was going to go out and die, with this gold out there. And he didn't die. So he wrote a book with a poem on it. And the poem gave people clues as to where to find this gold. And people didn't know if it was real. They didn't know if it was a hoax, or this guy was just full of shit. Right. And so
right, exactly.
For 10 years, people risked everything. Like some people died, some people wiped out their life savings account. People went insane trying to find this life-changing money. And it's in the mountains of not Utah, but possibly right? Utah. It's in the West. So there's this 3-part series, and it goes on, and then towards the end, someone claims to have found it, and it just gets crazier and crazier as it goes on. And it's three episodes, I believe, 3 1-hour episodes or something like that. Yeah. See, Smo was in the area. They were looking. I knew some of these gold peeps. So this is something I love to do here. Let me just share this. I believe I have this in our Telegram, but it'll be easier to just find it. But I'll turn on this one. Let me share this one more time. See if it doesn't kick me completely out. But yeah, I'll go full screen and we'll just look it up on YouTube. Oh, I was listening to the Thong song earlier from Cisco.
What a great song.
And I kept singing Dawn to Dawn, Dawn, Dawn. If I ever get rich enough to pay Cisco to change the lyrics to Dawn to Dawn, 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 I'm going to do it.
Dude, you've got AI. You can do it in 10 minutes.
Exactly.
I'll just have AI do that.
Have Rip City do it.
Can do it in a second. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, check this out right here.
I was at a friend's house. He told me a guy by the name of Forrest Fan hid some treasure worth, at the time everybody's saying $1 to $5 million. I would love to be a millionaire one day. We're rednecks, but not stupid rednecks.
What if we told you there was a treasure chest somewhere in the mountains north of Santa Fe?
Find the treasure chest and it's yours. It's life-changing money.
You have a map and you get to solve it. You get to find it.
Who wouldn't want to be Indiana Jones?
Forrest Fenn hides the treasure.
More than 10 years ago.
And nobody's found it in all these years.
But in order to find it, you'll need to solve clues hidden in a poem.
People went nuts. People started posting their solutions to the puzzle.
Something to do with latitude and longitude.
We used the cipher to decrypt the poem.
We're coming, Mr. Finn. We are coming.
Got it all lined up.
This treasure hunt became this massive phenomenon. Forrest became kind of a godlike figure in the treasure community, and that's a lot of power to have.
He lived in my head rent-free for 24 hours of the day.
Over 300,000 people took part in it. People spent years of their lives.
2 years.
10 years.
We're not going to stop.
It did turn into madness.
The treasure hunters would do anything to get to the finish line.
One of the treasure hunters decided to start stalking my dog.
At this point, 4 people have died. Your granddaughter's being stalked. People are breaking into your home. People started asking Forrest, why don't you call off the hunt? Now that it was a matter of life and death.
Do not call this off. Shit happens.
If somebody drowns in the swimming pool, should we drain the pool or should we teach people to swim?
I know that someone has rehidden the treasure.
What the fuck?
So wild, dude.
That's my kind of show, guys.
Yeah, we've watched it a few times, not the whole thing through, but we usually watch it, put it on at night, and then get so far and then fall asleep. Not because it's a great show. We just need to watch it during the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, good show.
So anyways, like I was saying, if someone were to give you some information, Randy, like maybe GPS coordinates or clues, would you go hide something down there in Panama for people to find? That maybe opened a wallet or something like that?
Oh, no, I wouldn't do that. I don't want to be part of something like that. I don't mind watching a show about it, but
you don't want to be murdered.
We already live in a dangerous place as streamers. We already have our necks out there, and people don't think about this, but those of us who are public faces in crypto, we already live a dangerous life, and I think about it every time I'm outside the door.
Dude, as you should, bro. Like, yeah, it's dangerous enough for all of us, like you said, to show our faces, but yet, especially where you are, man. Yeah, American.
There ain't no one coming to save me.
No, you need to start saying you're in El Salvador, bro. Hey, we moved to El Salvador. That background looks the same, but
yeah, very similar. Panama's fine. Panama's very safe. It's just, there's a reason why we're not very public here.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, people can fly on planes. You know what I mean? That's the.
Retrostack says, thanks for documentary recommendation. It really shows how we all see patterns and things that don't even exist. That group shouldn't mention spring. Oh yeah, that group we shouldn't mention springs to mind.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I know what you're
doing. No, but like I said, Bright Light says, I'll do it. I'll hide a wallet for you.
Of course he would.
What if you did have wallets that had some J1, J3 fuel cells in it in the future, when the value of one J fuel cells, like just the cash value, is worth thousands?
Yeah,
or more.
I mean, when dark hits $250, it's
right. Yeah. It becomes crazy.
It would be fun. It would be fun we could play some really fun games, is all I'm saying. So you were asking Randy about, like, what happens when this thing plays out? What happens when you can't mint anymore? And Donna and I have learned a lot of lessons in the last 4 years about what works, what doesn't work, what people want. For example, Tiago's like, the minting window, like, we thought it would create urgency, but it doesn't create as much urgency as we thought it would, because people don't know about it.
Right.
And if they find out about dark, like right now, there's a brand new person, they hit stream, they learn about dark. They're like, dude, I want to go mint some fuel cells. They can't. They can't for 34 more days. And so it kind of ruins, like, keeping people's attention and the stickiness. It kind of breaks that up. So, going forward, if we were going to do it again, we would have a way for people to mint all the time. But that
you
means
can totally rebrand and start something totally new.
Yeah.
Like 3 years and 10 months into the.
That was with the design, part of the plan was being able to kind of use the ideas of plug and play for a bunch of different things, right? Like, I mean, potentially even some brands that would want a crypto project, just like a 4-year one, but to our credit, at least, after the contracts were done and audited, we had the idea of, and we're getting re-audit them, but of something that would basically be an auto minter. So people could at least be like, okay, hey, I'm going to put this amount of dark, I'm going to sign it, just kind of like with the wraps, like auto mint the fuel cells, right?
Right.
So that the minting window really didn't matter as long as you were aware of it at some point beforehand. And you could even pre-doing ladders, but it just wasn't able to be done. Not even time-wise. It was just, there were the way that it was built, that just wasn't a doable option, at least that anyone could think of at the moment. But
so you got to change it up a little bit for the next one.
Exactly. Meaning, just where, because you never want to have a situation where people are trying to put financial energy into the project, or at least trying to do the smartest thing in the project, and then they can't. You know what I mean?
We have somewhat of a hybrid solution. I received word from Nick over at pulsemarket.app that they will soon be accepting dark matter as one of their payment options for NFTs. So pretty soon we will be seeing a secondary market and a ratio trading of how many dark are you willing to give up today to go back and get a Michael Jordan rookie card.
Is it going to be 1.1? Is it going to be 1.2? Is it going to be 1? Who knows? It'll be whatever.
The last
people
ones
want.
listed up there were listed for 33 EDI, and that's before we did the spreadsheet, and we're like, holy shit, that's cheap.
Right.
They disappeared as soon as we brought out the spreadsheet. All the NFTs disappeared, and we're all bought.
Yeah.
Off of Pulse Market app. Because
I think it also helps people understand the project. Like that data, don't you think it helps people understand the project too? Like, because there are a lot of elements to grasp. And when you see like, oh, wait, okay, so that's not lottery, that's just yield, then it blows people's minds. Because we've been saying it the whole time. But now that we can show it visually, it's a totally different ballgame, you know?
Yeah.
People get it now. It's like, oh, okay, so if I mint, then, okay, it goes down by 10%. Okay, so if I mint this journey, here's how many I'll have, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that chart I want to do of just when do you hit one will be a cool one to see.
Yeah, when do you get your original investment back?
Mm-hmm.
Brightly says I've come close to the Eco Builder wallet. Cracking that also got like 9 words of the 9-inch seed phrase.
Ooh, getting close.
So
how much is in that?
I think there's like 1 million hex.
Ooh, that's nice.
Or something like that in that picture wallet where it's just a guess. There's just a picture with clues, and you're trying to figure out which clues or pictures are the seed words and which ones aren't. But
at one point, that's a $500,000 wallet, dude. At one point.
Yeah. Well, I think in some time in the future, I believe we're going to hit 50. I believe we're going to hit dollar hex.
There's no way Richard's going to let this cycle go by without us hitting the new all-time high.
Right.
No.
We'd have to.
No. I think if he hits $1 with the combined value, he'll count that as a win.
He could do that in one day. Seriously, he could just do it in one day if he wanted to.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy when someone controls the supply of a token.
Absolutely.
Like when it's in the hands of someone who's not selling.
Let's talk about these. That's why I wore the shirt today. Because
yes.
Well, the cores. We can't forget the cores, guys. Those of us here, we all talk about the tokens that we're involved in, but I think I like to think of it as we've earned that right to do it because we've been talking about Hex and Pulsechain for 6 freaking years.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
Yeah. So look, guys, the case was dismissed. The final order came through yesterday, so there's no more case. I guess there can be one more appeal from the SEC, but they're not going to waste their time. I don't think so. If they did that, I'd be so dismayed with the U.S. government. I'd be like, what the hell are they doing over there? Just wasting tax dollars.
Right.
But yeah, so that's where we're standing. It's gone now. So that year and 9-month nightmare is behind us. And I know a lot of people were angry at me when I told everyone in July of 2023, was it? Was that when the case came out? Yeah. Yep. When the case came out in July 2023, I said, look, next month is going to be nasty. We got a blue moon. We got whatever you own, I recommend you go to Stables. And a week later is when the news came out for the SEC. And I haven't been talking a lot about the core coins for the last 19 months. I stayed away from them. I don't own many. My community doesn't own many. We went into things that we can make money with. And now it's time to start shifting back into the cores. I think that you're going to have a nice run now that that is behind us. I don't care about the whole interpol thing. I think the interpol thing was only there because of what the SEC was doing. But now that that's gone, you'll probably see that be taken out too. So I'm pretty sure we have clear skies ahead of us, and I'm really excited to see what happens. So now, for all you guys, I'm back to saying, look, you should have your core coins. You better have your bag ready because it could pump and go crazy at any moment.
Any moment. And I'm sure most people in here, if you're a crypto person that just happened upon this, obviously Pulse is the layer one. It's like the Ethereum for Ethereum, or it's like the Ether for Ethereum. Pulse is for Pulsechain. It's the gas token. Then Pulsex is the exchange token. Then Inc is the incentive token, basically for providing liquidity.
Yep. And then you have Hex, which is our deposit, time deposit. So
TD,
yeah, you get all those, you're all set. At least have, if you're a believer in RH and you're a believer in the Pulsechain ecosystem, a good portion of your bag should be in these core coins. I'm never going to own Pulsex. All right, I'm straight up about that. I don't care. No one's going to tell me to own Pulsex. I put it all into. Yeah, I put everything into PTGC. And people think, oh, Randy, why would you do that? Well, PTGC has a very large correlation with all the core tokens because of the large amount of liquidity. So I feel like I can get the best bang for my buck using PTGC. And you could do UFO as well if you wanted. UFO might have more X's possible if you wanted to. That's also part of the PTGC protocol.
Like a leverage play on PTGC or on the
they're leverage plays. And I believe that Pulsex will outperform Pulse during the bull run, but not during the bear. So during the bear, Pulse probably do a little bit better because everyone has to have it to get in and out. But Pulsex, I think, is definitely going to be the bull run one that gets a lot of attention because it's going to have major X's. And same thing with Inc. But during the bear, I think that's the time that you want to just load up as much Pulse as you possibly can. And just ride it out or put it into stables, whatever you want to do. But I'm looking forward to this bull run doing its thing, man, because it's been a tough 4 years. Yeah. My community, we started to change its subjects and talking about all kinds of other things besides crypto because it was so bad and it was getting so painful that let's talk about something else. This shit sucks. But here we are, guys. I think the next stage of the bull run's here. We no longer have that cloud over our heads. So make sure you have your cores, and then the stable, the coins from the community that have active streamers, active communities. Those are the ones that you should put a small portion of your money into as well, because they're all correlated with Pulse. Look at that token. That token went up 46% yesterday, and it wasn't just because of what happened to Pulse in the last couple of days. It was because we launched new farms. But coins like that are, paired largely with the cores. Those are the ones that will do very well. And you won't. The thing is, right now those are on sale compared to the main asset. Even the main asset might be depressed, right? They might be down really low. But these coins that are on the side, like Dark, SolidX, DAT, PTGC, these coins that have been just absolutely slaughtered in the last month, they're in the sale bin over at Dollar General. All right, so they're over there. So
Pink Miss Whale too. Even that's cheap where it can go.
What is it? What?
PMW, Pink Miss Whale.
Pink Miss Whale, yeah.
But as far as utility, the ones you mentioned are all utility tokens.
That's just been going nuts.
Yeah.
That's our premium.
Exactly.
But that's just how I wanted to bring up some stuff about the markets too, guys, because sometimes we get all excited about our own tokens, but we forget to mention the core that we've all had for all these years. And people like to talk shit when they don't see us talking about it. So here you are for all the haters.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. That's we need to make sure we do a touch base.
I need to represent today, man. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I love it, dude.
I finally put the animals back on our Nostradamus chart right here of Dark. So here's the first bull run. Here's the first minting phase. Here's the second minting phase. The third minting phase is the only one that didn't really pump, but we had a lot of shit going on that week. And then here's the next bull run right here, and here's the next 3 lotteries. Here's our bear markets. Boom, boom, boom. Our mini bears.
Yeah,
So,
I'm telling you, that first bear might not even. I'm telling you, Fire Whale's not going to sell. He's just how, and Peakmas Whale's not going to sell.
Right.
So I don't think they will. So that might not even just be a little blip.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll be very interesting to see what Pulse does in the next 30, 60 days with the next couple of mini bull, mini bear cycles.
Zach,
right here.
Zach, great.
And here's the deal. Like, it looks like we're fighting, we are fighting back to get back up to all-time highs on the dollar. But if you put it against Pulse, we're right back at this resistance over here.
Wow.
So
it's great. I mean, that's
if we break this against Pulse, the next stop for Pulse is 928,000 Pulse per dark.
Are you crazy? Are you kidding me? So we can possibly get to 1 dark for 1 million Pulse?
Oh, we've already been there.
Yeah, I'm just
saying, like, I think we get pretty far past there, especially especially with the games and stuff going on and the pairs, the liquidity pairs. Like I was showing you guys here, dark matter has $57,000 paired with Pink Miss Well in a 10% range on V3.
Wow.
And then Pink Miss Well has, it's weird. Pink Miss Well doesn't show the V3, and I think it's because it's the second one listed. So check this out. If you come down here, it shows the V2 where, Wrap Pulse is got 44 grand tied to it.
Right.
And Dark has 3 grand tied to it on V2, but it doesn't show the V3 on here. I think it just shows the V3 on the first token listed. I don't know. I mean, let's look at the DAT token, shall we? Let's see what the liquidity is looking like on DAT right now. Homie, don't play that.
Oh, yeah, play that. Whoop.
Boom, and
we're back over 100,000 liquidity. That's cool.
Yeah, so let's copy the address right here. Ends in 0369. Did you guys get a
dude?
Yes.
You guys got a vanity one. I love that it's in 0369.
We were gonna say, dude, that's man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the past duel.
Yeah, we went vanity with the SAC, like the SAC, the Wishwell was 33.22.11 because that repeats so many times in our project, and but then when it launched the actual contract, we didn't go vanity with that one.
No.
Guys, what is your numerology? What is your life path number? Mine's a 33.
Mine's either 8 or 11. I'm a builder or something.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never done mine. I need to do.
Did you know the UK royal family? They make sure that every single one of their children are an 11.
What?
Really?
Yeah, they're all 11 life paths.
Is that based off when you're born?
Numerology. They make sure that the day, either the day or the full adding up of your birthday month and year comes to an 11. Every single person in the UK royal family, supposedly. So.
Crazy.
Wow, dude.
So
you have the month, day, and year. That's how you come up with it.
Yeah, you could DM me your birthday, and I'll tell you your numbers.
Yeah. So this launched March 3rd through the 6th. This March launched during the Vegas conference right here. So it's about a month and a half old, about 45 days old.
Yep.
I think. And so if we go down here, have $121,000 of liquidity. And a lot of this is being farmed right here. So Wrap Pulse has a ton of liquidity, 43K, 21K with SolidX, 20K with Nope. And then Hex has 14,000 and Ink has 10,000. That is very heavy chunk of liquidity in V2. Very, very heavy chunk. And then someone paired $82 with Pulse on V3, $19 on V3, and then 9-inch, another $28 where someone did something with 9-inch and Fire, which is interesting. But then we can just come here under here. If you just click Nope, and it will open another window, and we can scan Nope.
Oh,
and then we can click on Solid X, and we can scan Solid X. So, yeah, this is a lot of fun when you just kind of see, because you can tell basically when you pair liquidity with a token, you're making a bet on usually on both of those tokens, right? And that's why you see so much liquidity paired with PulseX right now. Is big money is putting a ton of liquidity there. Yeah, No Permissions has 1,299,000 amongst all the dexes, and the number one is Solid X with 100K, 9-inch with 51K, and then Dark at 21K. So Dark and Nope is the third one there. Wrap Pulse has 21,000, and DAT has 20,000. So $20,000 in DAT, and then it goes down to Gelato, Yep, Fib, Queen, all the ones that you're getting the Homie Don't Play That farms. They're all in here, right?
That's amazing.
Look at all these ones with like a buck, like Ignite, Hater, Queen, Noble, Jizz, Axis. A few of these repeat, but that's interesting. And then on V3 pool, the concentrated pool, someone named Snape or Snap has thrown something on there. I don't know any of these addresses. I do know Solid X and Fire here. I believe those are the pump versions. And then if you come down here on V3 9-inch pool, yeah, it's just small amount of change. This is where you can see what did these, if I'm in No Permissions, where does No Permissions want to concentrate their liquidity? Interesting. It's just really interesting. Let's do Solid X, because Solid X is going to be banana. There's more liquidity in Solid X than there is market cap with the Solid X pair. Did you know that?
Yeah.
The Solid X versus Solid X pair has like $1.5 million in liquidity and $1 million in market cap.
That's crazy.
And yeah, so sometimes it gets a little funky because it's showing $130 million, which that could be some V3 shenanigans. But just right off the top in V2, which is equal parts, you have 5 million Solid X paired with Ink, almost 5 million paired with PulseX. There's PulseX again, almost 2 million paired with Wrap Pulse, and then 1.6 million paired with the Pump.Tires version. That's bananas. 675,000 paired with Hex, 186,000 paired with Pulse. Sparta's got 118,000, so I'm guessing the founders of Sparta have tied that together. Gelato's got 114,000 paired with Solid X. UFO, Gelato, Most, yeah. And then when we come down here to the V3s, this is probably where it has the crazy millions. Yeah, see, this .com has valued itself at some crazy market cap. So .com is claiming they have $103 million paired, but I don't think Com does. I'm not sure who created that pair. But the next one is Vadra, says they've got 10 mil. Hazel, don't know who those guys are, but then it goes down to Wrap Pulse is 70K.
I'm betting that Axis Alive did the Com pair because he's huge.
Is the Com?
Yeah.
Is that Com Eunice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So his Com is worth $103 million somewhere. I'm guessing this is because I see some Com showing up in some of my wallets. It says I have like $30,000, $40,000, and it's listing it off of the Ethereum version, and the Ethereum version has like $96 in liquidity.
That's why.
So yeah, and then PulseX right here, V3 concentrated pulls 35 grand. Magic 8 Balls got 33, Wrap Pulse 21, and so on. So this is a very interesting place to go and take a look at liquidity, kind of peek behind the curtains at who's betting on which horse or teams of horses. This is kind of like putting a team of horses together. Like, remember Ben-Hur?
Yeah.
This is kind of like picking which horses you want to harness together to race, I would say. So Yep. I yeah, that's it. So guys, yeah. Smoke Spider says calm. Let's put us back up on screen. There we go. Here we are. I'm not sure where Hexius is, and I have been trying to get my camera working this entire time, and it's gone to shit. I'm just glad that it's not muting me like it was. Don is a 3, the communicator. That makes a lot of sense. I'm an 8. I remember now I'm an 8.
That's all about the money, man.
Yeah,
about making
money, man. Smo Spider's happy. Yeah, you're magical. Smo's mystical. I'm with you on that, Wild SJ. Someone once did my numerology and had a prophetic dream about me that came true. This community is full of magic.
I want to say something quick about that, about SJ. SJ is a 33 like myself. So is RG3. And T-Bird, the Australian guy that's in Hex, he's also a 33. And you know who also is Dollar Cost Crypto. So we're all 33s, and it's so funny that we all came out of RG3's show. You know, it's wild that we all came from.
What number is RG3?
33. That's wild.
So what is 33?
33 is the master communicator. It is like the, in numerology or even in other things, it's the peak of the pyramid when it comes to communication and all those kind of things.
Yeah,
so your prime number, your 11, 22s, and 33s are the completions. That's when you complete.
Yeah, it's interesting. We have 11, 22, and 33 going over and over and over in our game here.
Yes,
absolutely. Yeah, I think fuel cell holders need a nope airdrop. They did. Everyone that was in no permissions and anti-gravity got an airdrop of nope and an airdrop of dark back in the day. So
those no airdrops were so sick, man. And it says like the Solid X. If you got 50 Solid X, every nope holder of 100,000 nope got 50 Solid X, and that's before Solid X went to $250 each.
Yep. All right. Yeah, my life path is 1. How do I know if that's right? 5 is the adventurer. Yeah, RG3 is 33. See, if I just read the comments, I would know what was going on. But I'm trying to bring myself back up on stream. It's not going to work before I say goodbye. So I'm going to play us out with a few of our music videos that we've been sharing. And like I said, as soon as I have more information on Pink Miswell game going live or Dark showing up on Pulse Market app, I will jump on stream or I'll jump in Telegram, let you guys know. And I want to thank Randy so much for coming and celebrating with us on this day of, another successful mint in the books. It's recorded on the blockchain. And I wouldn't sleep on these different projects, guys. If when people understand how to truly make a token scarce, don't sleep on that. Randy, where can people find you, subscribe, follow you, and where can they find out more about the No Permissions group?
Just nopermissions.com or Patreon. You can just type in No Permissions; it'll show up. My Twitter, Nope No Bull. Look, I'm not as many places I used to be. I used to be all over the place. Now I'm kind of condensed that. So Patreon's probably the best if you want to pay to be part of it. If not, then just follow me on YouTube and Twitter, X.
Awesome. Yeah, check him out. It's a great community, not just Randy, but actuator guys are in there. Token, Bright Lights in there.
9-inch guys.
9-inch guys. Tiago, Fast Abdul's in there. Always giving some alpha.
MCR.
MCR, Triplet Dad, that whole suite of products is in there. King and Queen community. So there's always someone cooking. There's always someone in the kitchen.
RG3, SJ. I mean, it's like the old school heck are pretty much all in there.
AJ Rip City Cuts, he's in there as well. He doesn't mute his microphone, so you hear him bumping and giggling during most of the recordings. No, I'm kidding. He brings some really sick videos to the No Permissions and Homie Don't Play That community and Solid X. So very, very cool. Much love all. No Permissions. Thanks, Randy and Max, for your time and support. Thank you, Hex T. Cheers. We will see you guys I'm going to be hitting the road tonight. So I'm going to try to jump onto Frank's Mastermind and also on the Pulsechain Times if I got time. And then I'll be back tomorrow. So Enjoy it. Enjoy it. I've got another stream planned with Mark from the Forge. I was supposed to do one tonight, but I'm going to be on the road, so I'm going to do another one next time. He's been revamping that, and we're going to see if we can breathe some life back into it.
I hope so. I'm the second biggest investor in that one. I want to make some money with it.
Thank you, Wild SJ and Al Condor. Thank you, gentlemen. Add up your numbers. Thanks, guys. And for the long, I'm telling you guys that if you're GDing out already, you're not going to make it. If you're compounding and accumulating and minting, you're good. You're good. So yeah, gonna try and stay awake for tonight with Mark. No, we won't be doing it with Mark. I'll be on the road, so that'll be next Tuesday. Thank you all. Thank you very much. I'm gonna throw Corny Investor's song up here. This new video from Zephyr Trips and Corny Investor.
I'm talking AGP, anti-gravity project. I respect, staying true to the tech. We got the evil address and the pink Miss Will. Got the dark matter token going up, I can tell. Hey, I can tell this is the start of something fresh. Shout out Hex Revision and Donna Hex, yes. I confess, Hexicans don't stress, cause as a community we one up. So tell me, are you in, or tell me, are you out? Do you want to win, or do you chase the clout? What is this really about? The Treasury and lottery. If you meant dark tokens, you can get a part of it. So how does it work? Let me explain. First you buy the dark token, now you're in the game. Then you mint the dark and get a fuel cell. That's an NFT, one that earns yield. As long as you have it, it feels like magic. But if you vaporize the NFT, that's tragic. So most think crypto is a game. Are you here for the fame or here to make a name? See, Hexicans reign, we create our own lane. I thought I told you we the new financial gain. AGproject.io with the flow. And if you know what I know, then you know what I know. That's just how it go. Something like to support the team, the dream. Public service announcement, t.me/anti-gravity saga. It's the Telegram. Tap in. It's for y'all. I'm talking AGP, anti-gravity project. I respect, staying true to the tech. We got the evil address and the pink Miss Will. Got the dark matter token going up, I can tell.
Nova is here, he's the leader of Alpha, leading the charge. Yeah. With main man heavy, hit up right by his side at the raid. Together they fight, and guards their corner, rich and valor, fighting for good. They refuse to back down in this war for justice. They wear the crown. Nova and heavy hitter, they rise from the dust. For the cause, they never back down. With Big Boy Leroy, his feet firmly underground. In the face of danger, they fight through it all. Champions of hope, they rise to the top. Through shadows of doubt, they light up the way. With power and purpose, they seize every day. Their enemy tremble in the dark. Nova and heavy hitter, our heroes embark in the big galaxy that's covered by night. They bring the fire and ammunition to ignite. For its alpha they serve, their honor was true. Nova and heavy hitter, they rise from the dust. Fighting for the cause, they never back down. With Big Boy Leroy, his feet firmly on the ground. In the face of danger, they fight through it all. Champions of hope, they rise to the top. For every shadow, they bring the light. Nova and Alpha, defenders of the right. calling in the still of the night. Frequencies, fire, fuel cells ignite. Dark token shimmer, stars beyond flicker. The address which holds the evil unfolds. Strengthened arms not quivering, evil never minting its whore. Down this dark and dreary road, jackpots found their simmering. Hit the button, claim its share. Gravity hover in the cosmic air. Fuel cells burn, brightness lights the race. Dark matter tempts this risky embrace. You've run deep in this sequential daydream. Vaporize, hold an enticing hero's fight. Which will it be? Mystified in these crypto frequencies. This lottery spin, phase by phase. Evil address real in half the days. Winning mounds of unscraped sits. A dormant prize in this cosmic pit. Minting windows, chance takes flight. Fuel cells bloom through the coded night. Burn it, keep it, your mind is such a mess. How long can this go on? Fuel cells burn, brightness lights the rays. Dark matter tempts this risky embrace. Chills run deep in this sequential daydream. Vaporize, hold an enticing hero's fight. Which will it be? Mystified in these crypto frequencies. Scrape button glows, this chance to seize the loot. Evil stash rolls to the next group. Bigger pots, the winners rise. Higher stakes light up the skies. 33 phases, the finite journey's arc. Pulsechain thrives through the endless dark. Holder's choice, the stars align. Anti-gravity's ours, by this the grand design. Fuel cells burn, brightness lights the rays. Dark matter tempts this risky embrace. Years run deep in this sequential daydream. Vaporize, hold an enticing hero's fight. Which will it be? Mystified in these crypto frequencies.